Hello, everyone. This is Scribelight, and welcome to ScribeStream number 4, No Trespassing Allowed. I am joined today by Danny the Dingo.
Hello.
Foxy the Wary Fox.
Hello, everyone.
And No Potato.
Hello.
First I want to say thank you to all my subscribers that have shot me up to 400 subscribers as of last week, but I am almost at 500 subscribers as of this recording. So thank you again. I'll have another one pretty soon. So I wanted to give a little bit of backstory, even though it's not particularly relevant to the conversation on the theme for this stream. No trespassing allowed. The ongoing debate about the immigration crisis, if you want to call it that, the advent of the president banning certain media outlets from press conferences and stuff like that, that kind of brought the phrase into mind. But we don't have to talk about either one of those topics unless, of course, that ends up being part of the content of our guests' questions for the group. So that being said, who shall I pick on first? Oh, how about Foxy? Foxy, what question? Give us a question that is derived from the theme, or in one way or another.
Well, I did have a question. I know that Suit Yourself has recently done a video on trans aliens, and I'm wondering how far is the trans community going to go with their transness, everything that they're making trans.
How do you mean trans? Like what?
We have trans speciesism. We have trans aliens now. We have trans age.
Well, my first reaction would be as soon as something becomes passé and somebody has to make themselves feel special, there'll be something new, I guess.
How far do you think they're going to take it?
I think they'll take that as, first off, if nobody stops them, they'll take it as far as the human imagination will allow them to go. I think it'll go until a point in which they are, like, actually told they can't do something. And then that'll be a whole nother hoo-ha.
Right, it's a tool. You know, they're using it to get to a place, so wherever it's useful.
Well, like what would trans ageism bring you? Like, how far can that get you? Like, what are they going to get for that? No, that's a real thing. The people actually think they're like 6 or something.
It gives them a sense of superiority to other people. Like, that's what they want out of it.
She's right. That is a real thing, and it's horrifying that it's a real thing, but it is a real thing.
Oh, I mean, infantilism I've seen for a long time, people like wanting to be treated like babies or carried around or like wearing diapers and that kind of thing. But of course, we've already seen the reverse of that because people always try to get into places they're not old enough to get into.
Mm-hmm.
And we got the girl that thinks she's a cat.
Oh, there are several people who think they're animals.
Yeah, I was going to say, did you ever see the guy who got like thousands of dollars worth of plastic surgery to make himself look like a tiger?
Yeah, and then I think he killed himself, didn't he?
Ooh.
I heard, unless I'm mistaken, I think I heard that he died. I don't maybe.
I think I heard that too.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was necessarily suicide, but I did hear that he died.
Yeah.
Maybe the chat can let us know.
Yeah. I would not be surprised if once the current hubbub over transgenderism or trans race or whatever else is going on, that we will have someone, I'm sure it's already happening, but probably in a more public way, someone lobbying for trans speciesism life or rights, like I'm a fox, I'm a bear, I'm a dog, or whatever.
There's a chick that's like in Russia or someplace that actually thinks that she's a cat.
Sure. There's also that Russian lady who like plastic surgeryed herself into like the living Barbie doll.
Oh, that chick's creepy.
Yeah, it's
okay. Danny, do you have a question for us?
So, going off of the idea of no trespassing allowed, what do you guys think over time, and this is going into a topic that I cover quite a bit on my channel, being the MGTOW community, I think has made them develop this whole, even though they claim to be like the pinnacle of masculine, that they have this whole idea that people who aren't MGTOW, people who don't agree with their ideology, should not even like click on their videos, should not even think about entering their space.
And a hush fell over the crowd.
Kind of thing.
I'm sorry. I don't know if I understood the question.
Do you know what MGTOW is?
I know what MGTOW is, but I might have gotten lost. I'm sorry.
You want to try to rephrase that, Danny?
Essentially, MGTOW claims to be like the pinnacle of masculine, but yet they don't seem to be able to handle not even just not the slightest bits of criticism, but it seems as though they can't even handle people who are not MGTOW being in their spaces. And I'm sort of trying to see if maybe we can come up with a logical or illogical thought process as to how they arrived to that point.
Well, I mean,
They have,
no, you go, Foxy. It's good.
oh no, I'm trying to think. I'm just thinking that they probably have the same mentality as a social justice warrior.
Well,
I
yeah.
mean, it's funny too, because a lot of channels in our little corner of the internet has actually started including them under the umbrella of social justice warriors.
Well, I think something that was talked about in a previous stream was like this like sense of needing purpose, you know, and like, you know, they feel masculine because they're being protective of something. Like they don't see it as being afraid of it. They see it as being protective. Like, I don't know if that's crazy. I don't know.
No, it's just them trying to form their own echo chamber. I mean, it's no different than like Steve Shives or someone saying, I'm not going to, or blocking somebody on Twitter. I'm not going to entertain anyone coming in and attempting to counter.
Oh, so just dismissive about it. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't, whether it's MGTOW, I mean, take your social movement and or ideology of choice or religion and put it there with, I don't, you know, sticking your fingers in your ears. It's the same process. It's not, it's not any different than a lot of other things, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, if they're going to,
yeah, the reason why I see it as a little different is because they do make that claim to be like the pinnacle of masculinity, and they claim to be like the pinnacle of traditional masculinity.
Right. Because
I then question why it is they take criticism like a 5-year-old.
Like I was thinking you meant that they were being combative as opposed to dismissive is what I was commenting towards. But I don't really know. I don't interact with MGTOWs. I haven't really watched a lot of content on MGTOWs. I just kind of vaguely know what they are.
I can tell you from having a lot of MGTOW content on my channel, they are very combative if you make videos criticizing them.
So yeah, I mean,
they do not like it one bit.
Yeah, so it could be like this defensive, like masculine, protective, like bullshit, you know? Maybe.
If there were ever a case of fragile masculinity.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Because a lot of these things that you talked about are like everything. There's a grain of truth to most things, you know. There's something in there that it started on and that was somewhat legitimate, and then got taken and turned into something crazy, you know. And I think that, you know, fragile masculinity or whatever, you know, it's not like a thing like they try and make it out to be, but it's based on something that might have some real basis to it, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I can, so the whole MGTOW thing, I can empathize with the seed of the notion because, I mean, and I've talked about this on previous streams. I've been raked through the coals emotionally and mentally and otherwise by relationships that just went sour. The thing is that I acknowledge my role in things going the way they did. Now, you know, I can sort of hopefully more objectively than not measure, you know, how much is my fault versus how much isn't. But at the same time, it's like it always takes two to tango. Now, if you've consistently, you know, bombed out, or if you've been messed around with or something else, I could see somebody just saying like, "I'll throw up their hands, hell with it. I don't need it." And technically, you don't. I mean, you don't need a relationship. You should be in a position where you want one, not that you need one. But I don't see. I guess the thing that I don't understand about the notion of men going their own way, it sounds just by its name, it sounds very individual. It sounds very isolationist, which it kind of is. It also sounds very personal. So if if I decide to go my own way, how do I join a movement? How is it something, and then how is it something that I'm unwilling to discuss? I mean, it's not like it's going to change anything by somebody saying otherwise. I guess it's turned into an ideology more than sort of just a personal philosophy. I guess I don't know.
Yeah, and I've studied a bit into the history of it, and when it first started, it was very much a very self-improvement, individualistic movement. But it's like every other movement / ideology it was taken over by the crazies. It was taken over by the people who looking to be individuals. They were looking to, as was so beautifully put by Patrick one in a stream one time when we were going at Markov, where they're not going their own way anymore. They're going the same way.
Okay, so now it's like,
And I know that some are more extreme than others. Like some are like,
oh, absolutely.
They go, well, some are calm and they'll say that, yeah, I did this wrong, and you know, all women are not evil. But then you got some that I've seen videos done on there, like really, really extreme, like they want to get rid of all women and have like sex robots or something.
it's no different than any. I mean, pick your ideology. It's the same thing. It's just it started out as one little thing. It's turned into a movement or some kind of subculture, and now you've got extremists and you have moderates and you have, you know, it's so.
Is it fair to say that these things are like kind of a product of unchecked entropy? Like it's not being moderated, and these things are easier. It's easier to be extreme than it is to be moderate, and nothing's like moderating them to be moderate. So because of the laws of entropy, this is easier, so I'll do this. This is easier, so I'll do this, and they just get more and more extreme.
A wild monkey has appeared.
Hello.
Hi guys. How is everybody?
Ranting monkey.
Well,
oh God, it's the monkey. He's back.
Welcome.
He's here to get me for stealing his idea.
His idea?
You stole my idea.
Yeah, what idea?
Yeah, you know his Dear Dumbass series?
Oh, right. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you're a thief.
I sort of adopted it to my own channel, calling it Dear Dipshit.
Adopted. That's a very diplomatic way of putting it. Well, welcome to the stream, monkey, in a completely non-contrived or unplanned way that you have suddenly appeared.
It's like monkey appropriation.
Nice.
So
what are we talking about?
So we're currently the topic is the cause, reasons, or otherwise for MGTOW's extremism, and Potato was saying that what was it again? The absence of entropy or the
unchecked entropy. You know, in any of these ideologies where you know, it's easier to be extreme most of the time. So because of the laws of entropy and it being easier, they just keep doing the easier, more extreme thing.
Well, more extreme also gets more attention. I mean, if you have to top the next guy as to how MGTOW you can be, I can out MGTOW the other MGTOWs. You know, it's like.
So do they actually believe what they're ranting about?
I don't know.
Yes.
Well,
some of them.
Very much so.
Some of them do. I mean,
Well,
it's hard to tell. I mean, we're not mind readers, but I mean, you listen to some of the rhetoric and it's like, well, depending on how they're putting it, if it sounds reasonable in a sort of, I mean, I can listen to somebody I don't agree with necessarily, but I can listen to what they're saying and I can see where they're coming from in their perspective. It depends on if they go to the point of saying something that's just absolutely groundless, ridiculous, or just saying something to sound like a jerk or whatever.
It would seem to me like it may be easier to get attention if you're more extreme. It's just kind of the point.
Well, to some of them, they don't even see it as extreme. They see it as what's rational. And in a sense, it is, if you're looking at everything from just protecting yourself. And that kind of mentality is going to attract crazies. Because it's the survivalist thing. It's the guys who go live in the woods by themselves, and you know, government can't get them, women can't get them. They're completely protective. So there is a little bit of logic to it. It's just crazy logic.
Yeah, it's also interesting how, like I said, it's men going their own way, and yet they are clumping together into a group movement as though they have like one unified notion of how things are supposed to go. So it's like
they get real mad if you call it a movement.
But they're like the feminists. They're like the extreme feminists now, but they're like feminists with balls.
No, I think feminists have more balls than they do.
Yeah.
Okay, right.
We haven't seen any MGTOW marches yet that I know of.
Well, they'd all be going their own way.
Ah, jeez.
No, they're good.
Oh, wait. Now we need a cartoon of somebody drawing out a MGTOW parade.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Look like an explosion.
Like one person's walking one way, another person's walking another way. One guy's trying to dig through the earth, the other one's got to get back.
Go your own way.
Okay. Hey, Potato.
Oh.
Give us one of your questions.
Okay. It's not really topical, but is no trespassing allowed redundant?
Is no
Because like the word trespass is to go on property where you're not permitted to be. So it's like saying, you're not allowed to do what you're not allowed to do, kind of.
Technically, it would become a double negative, so you're allowed to go there.
Hey.
We found a loophole.
Hey.
You're going to get shot doing it, but you could try to explain that.
Exactly. I was about to say that. If you do that, you're just going to get your ass shot.
Almost sounds like one of those George Carlin jokes. No trespassing allowed. Oh, so passing's fine? Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, not topical.
You're just being more of a semantic junkie. That's fine. I could appreciate that.
I like that question.
I was gonna say Scribe is
now Monkey has to ask a question though. Monkey's here, so he has to ask a question.
No. Monkey's the odd man out. It's my turn.
Oh, okay.
Besides, the question I have, I think Monkey will appreciate. So I just wanted everyone to take a moment and tell us all your personal reason why Bill Paxton's magnum opus, the film Trespass, is the greatest thing ever made.
I've never seen it.
Yeah.
I see we have some communists in the room. Monkey.
I've never seen it that I remember.
Monkey! Oh, good God, Bill Paxton and like Ice-T and it's great. It's amazing.
I make it a point not to watch Ice-T movies.
Oh, this is the ensemble thing. It's really good. It's got like 4 different gangs coming to the same like abandoned building where there's supposedly some buried treasure and they have this like long shootout kind of thing. It's really neat.
I told you my Bill Paxton movie is weird science.
Yes, I understand. But you're wrong.
Sorry, Dingo, go ahead.
I hate to tell you this, Scribe, but you're actually the only person here who's seen it.
I see that now, but that was also kind of the joke.
That happens with Scribe way too often. How do you find time to watch all this shit?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, am I allowed to cuss on your stream?
Yeah.
Okay, good. How do you find time to watch this shit?
Well, it's not like I'm doing it just now. It's over the course of the last 37 years of free time working at a video store and having no social life.
Oh yeah, that'll do it.
So yeah, my
break. I'm picturing Superstar video rewinder.
Oh God. Smell my armpits. Okay, Monkey. Since that one obviously bombed, Monkey, you have a better question, don't you?
I didn't know I was supposed to have a question.
Well, you come up with a question that is either abstractly or directly derived from the theme
of no trespassing.
Yeah, no trespassing allowed. We can come back to you if you'd like. I can ask a serious or more serious question, I guess I should say.
Ask another one.
Okay.
I'll see what I can come up with.
All right. So as a sort of converse to, as I was for Monkey's edification, the reason I came up with that phrase this time around was partially because of the immigration crisis ongoing, also because of Trump banning certain news outlets from the press conferences and that kind of stuff. So sort of related to that slightly, if you were president, which news outlet would you trust to give an exclusive interview to in the current state of things? Potato?
Wait, what news outlet would I trust?
Yeah.
Like I have no idea.
There's no news outlet you particularly like or think is decent?
No. I haven't been like paying much attention to the news up until recently, and now all of it scares me, so I really don't know. And okay. Any suggestions are welcome.
Danny?
Philip DeFranco.
Ah, why is that?
Because he has always come across to me as just, especially lately, as just more objective than most major media sources.
And for everybody who might be listening that doesn't know, could you tell who Philip DeFranco is?
So Philip DeFranco was one of the, maybe not original, but one of the first, I'd say probably maybe first channels on YouTube. And he basically just does news, and somehow this scrawny looking white guy has made it to the point that doing just news, he has 4 million subscribers.
Foxy.
I don't trust any of the major news media outlets, but if I picked one person to do a good interview with the president, I would say Computing Forever on YouTube. I like his content. I like how he does the news on there.
Okay.
So that brings up an interesting question, because both of us that picked one picked YouTube channels, not major media sources.
You're not biased at all.
It says he can't trust the mainstream media.
Monkey, any ideas?
It would depend on how much control I get over the interview.
None.
Oh, then none of them. Not a damn one.
And from quote unquote alternative or secondary.
Not even from
sources?
alternative, because while I like Phil DeFranco, there's times I've seen him jump. He's really big about talking about not jumping the gun on stuff, but I've seen him do it too.
Sure.
I think he generally does good interviews, but if I have no say, then I don't trust anybody.
Well, I just think as president, if you're being interviewed, you should be open to whatever is asked of you. I mean, within reason. I mean, I'm like, what's...
Well, see, that's what I'm talking about, because you can have, I wouldn't necessarily want final cut or even, the questions in advance or anything, but there should be a point where I can go, no, I'm not talking about that.
Oh, sure, you can do that too. I mean, it's not like it's not like you have to answer the questions like you're a genie or something.
Yeah, but see that if you don't have that in the clause, then they put that in the interview and it makes it look like you're just some asshole.
Oh, well, I guess that depends on, like I said, who would you trust to do something straight with you?
None.
Okay.
Because everybody is biased.
I would, if I had to pick like an individual to ask me questions, it would probably be Sam Harris.
I could see that.
And admittedly, he's not a media outlet, but he is a media figure for in so many ways. So, but yeah, the mainstream media or someone who promotes themselves as a journalist, even some YouTubers who I think are as like Sargon or Vernaculus, these guys who I listen to that are, I don't always agree with everything they say, but I can't say that they're not fair and objective as much as humanly possible in a lot of stuff they approach.
Somebody in chat said Dave Rubin. A couple people actually, yeah, I would go with Dave Rubin.
You know what?
I would go to him.
That's what I take back my Sam here. That was my first reflexive thing, but yeah, Dave Rubin. I don't know why I forgot about him, but yeah, he's so
forgettable.
Yeah, he's so forgettable. Well, he's also the weird thing is, at least to me, he's not controversial in the sense that he entertains information and opinions from all over the place. So it's not like he's specializing in one thing or demonizing one side over another. So he's almost probably one of the most neutral people doing interviews and commentary lately. So yeah, no, Dave Rubin's
yeah, one of the biggest criticisms I've ever seen of him is that he doesn't get too in their face about stuff. He just talks with people.
Yeah, which is not a bad thing. I mean, I understand. I mean, certainly journalism to a degree should, put truth to power, etc. But he's usually not interviewing people who are quote unquote powerful per se. They're just people with knowledge or perspectives that are either well informed or very vocal in some fashion, and then he just lets them go off and just sort of goes back and forth.
Okay, I have my question now.
Aha, I was about to say.
What is one topic you would not approach on your channel ever?
I
Are you going to
think
call
about
out
that one?
Ever.
Something you would just completely stay away from.
Celebrity gossip.
Good one.
I mean, that's not to say that I wouldn't do a video that involved a celebrity. I've already done videos like that, but not videos involving just I'm reporting rumors or some kind of this is the right now thing that's going on with some celebrities, that kind of stuff.
Well, not that I could jump into the conversation about movies too much, but if you've ever seen the movie Merlin, at the end with Queen Mab, the whole thing is that if you don't pay attention to it, it goes away. So things that I think that would only be that don't need more attention, like I would stay away from, you know.
So
Wait.
overexposed topics, you just
Yeah.
like it's been done to death, that horse has been beat, that kind of thing.
Well, no, just where it's just so it's not even like worth, addressing. It's not like something that's, I don't know. Maybe I need to think about that more.
Danny?
I tend to agree with Scribe on this one. But I would go further and say just I try not to cover gossip in general.
You tend to agree with me. Okay, that's scribe appropriation now.
He's appropriating everything.
You really need to come up with something. Here, I'll give you another minute. Foxy?
I would have to say the celebrity gossip.
Oh my gosh!
But I'll also add I won't go near the and it's a touchy subject with everybody, the climate change issue. I won't touch on that one.
Yeah, hard science would be tough for me to cover because I'm not a scientist and I'm not trained to be such. I mean, I'll approach, like, I kind of shy away from economics, even though I've done a video that kind of touched upon it. I made sure to put a lot of caveats in it, like, I don't know dick about economics. So if I say something off base, by all means, correct me, because I'm not going to pretend that I'm an authority figure, but this doesn't sound right is kind of how I approach stuff like that. I
can explain myself better, I think. And it does kind of become scribe appropriation a little bit, but I don't think gossip needs more attention, you know? Just like even with the drama on YouTube, I don't really want to make a video about Steve Shives.
Right.
He's so much fun to make fun of.
I know, but like it's just like I don't want to. Can he go away? if I ignore him, will he go away? I don't know.
Sadly, he'll never go away. He's like one of those STDs or something.
Yeah.
I can dream.
Shives sounds like an STD if you just say Shives.
It does. And looks like one too.
I caught Shives.
I won't touch up on him because I kind of feel sorry for him because he had his balls chopped off by his wife.
That kind of sympathy only extends so far before you start being a jerk just for being a jerk.
True.
Coming back around, Foxy, do you have a second question in there somewhere?
I'm still thinking. So.
Oh. Okay.
I'm still thinking.
Danny.
I'm trying to go. Yeah, go to Danny.
Okay.
Sort of similar idea to an earlier question, but how far do you think both the radical left and the radical right are going to go in our current political situation until they cause a near collapse of the whole system?
That's a good question.
Because the way our system is set up, if we're going to have multiple parties, they have to be able to work together to a certain degree. But if we keep having the Democrats going farther and farther to the left and the Republicans going farther and farther to the right, with examples of the regressives and the alt-right, how far do they go before the system just doesn't work anymore?
The system was already working?
Well, I mean, so the system as set down in the Constitution and everything, short of them finding a way to amend the Constitution or willing and able to completely break it in order to get their way on things, they're still going to have to, for the most part, and again, I'm being slightly idealistic here, but for the most part, they're still going to have to operate within the boundaries already set. As far as there's nothing written that says we're supposed to have a quote unquote two-party system. That's just how things have hashed out. It's much simpler that way to have a or B kind of dichotomy. But we've seen, just in the right, okay, when Obama was elected, we saw a fracturing in the Republican Party that turned into the Tea Party. Now, they didn't become their whole party necessarily. They became sort of like a sub-faction within the Republican Party, but they pushed their own candidates, they pushed their own agenda, they mobbed town halls, depending if you believe that they were manufactured riots or not or whatever. But I think you'll probably see more things like that in both sides, where you have a really vocal extremist core pushing, or I should say pulling everybody else in one direction further away from the center. And I think that's happening in the left right now, and it'll just continue that way. I don't know that anybody would take seriously an actual third, fourth, fifth party that comes out of it, because everybody's so used to just having the very simple understanding of right, left, Democrat, Republican.
I wasn't necessarily saying forming new parties. It was more playing on the idea that those radical groups within the parties are pulling them farther to the left and farther to the right. And my question is, how far does that go until we see some kind of snapback from it?
Well, I mean, is the furthest it could go like civil war, like to the ultimate extreme?
That I think that would probably be the ultimate extreme for that.
Well, let's hope.
Monkey?
A couple of things here. One, Danny said that the system's not quite working with the parties not working together. That's actually how it's designed. It's we are under the impression that just because we want something, it should happen immediately in government, and whatever we want, not necessarily what everybody wants, but we have to have change now. And there's so much talk about the do nothing Congress. The system was specifically designed so that if the country is split the way it is, shit doesn't work, nothing changes, because that way nobody's just getting everything pushed through. I do think there is a problem right now with too much partisanship, because we should at least have a fucking budget deal. But I don't think you're actually going to see things get much worse than they are right now in the political sphere. You'll start to see, especially the Democrats, coming back a little bit after 2018 when they get their asses kicked again. Because they generally in the midterm elections, the party in power in the White House loses seats, but the country this time, unless something really bad happens under Trump, and it would have to be pretty bad, most of Congress is going to stay pretty much how it is. There might be a little shift, but not enough that the 2020 Democratic candidate is going to go out there trying to be the next Bernie Sanders, because it's just not what the country as a whole really wants. It's what all the college kids want, but it's not what the people who are paying mortgages and working jobs, and that's not what they're going to be voting for.
Yeah, the idea is that we're supposed to have metered, methodical change and debate and everything else. Instant gratification in changing like national policy or law or anything else is not smart. This is why we have a legal justice system, because if you didn't have a process to go through, then you'd have just vigilante justice and instantaneous action taken without consideration. So it's supposed to be adversarial. It's supposed to get things done in some way. I wish there would be more, not compromise per se, but at least some pragmatic, admission that we need to do something. Let's find something that we can at least, even if it's incremental, do something that at least moves things forward a little bit, even if it's not what everybody wants.
Well, a big problem under Obama was that Obama wasn't allowed to compromise at all. Republicans wouldn't compromise at all. And by saying he's not allowed to, the press just, oh my God, he's agreeing with them.
Right.
So I think you'll see that change a little bit. I really wish Congress would start doing something now so we can actually get a judge, but they seem content for the most part to just let Trump say whatever he wants and sit back and do nothing.
Yeah, I noticed that actually. Something that you had said earlier about the college kids, but I think it's more so the college kids that are in debt, because I'm in college, but I've set myself in a situation where even though I'm going through college, I have no debt because I actually saved my money to pay for college instead of taking a loan. And so I never saw the appeal in the whole Bernie free college thing, because it's like my college is already paid for. So
yeah, but it's not just the free college, it's the safe spaces, the
true, yeah.
Where was it? I think it was in the Telegraph today. There's a college somewhere banning words again because they're gendered. They ban they're not allowed to say manpower, for fuck's sake. Housewife.
My eyes nearly rolled out of my skull.
Yeah.
Yeah. This kind of stupidity is being taught. So, I mean, it's not really even their fault. They're not being taught critical thinking. They're being taught, stupidity.
Feelings.
Yeah. And there's one party that's pandering to that and one that's not, and we'll see how it goes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think it's Potato's turn.
Yes, I think so. Potato.
Well, is it still trespassing if you can't read the sign?
If you get to the door, it is, and you're probably gonna have a bullet in your ass.
Potato.
Well, I mean, because it goes back to it being redundant. So, like, if they needed a sign in the first place and I can't read it, how am I supposed to know I'm not supposed to go in there?
If a tree falls in the forest. Potato is the sign master.
Okay.
Well, if they can't find the body, then did they trespass?
That's
No.
an awfully dark turn.
I live
If
on the
they can't-
countryside. We get the crazy people that walk up on the yard all the time.
I think you might be one of them.
Oh,
they
no.
can't-
I'm the one that shoots first.
If they can't find the bones in my cauldron, did they trespass?
All right, this is getting really weird. Monkey, do you have another question?
I think I do.
Oh, dear.
This is the trespassing thing, though. That's kind of on the trespassing.
Okay, again, it could be abstract or direct. It really doesn't matter. Whatever.
It's kind of similar. It's on the same path as don't come on my thing kind of thing. We were talking about appropriation.
That could be taken too.
I know,
far.
that could be
I promise
taken
not to come on
horrible.
your thing.
Don't come on my thing. No, it's a cultural appropriation. What are the goofiest cultural appropriation accusations have you heard?
Oh God.
Oh well, they all sound kind of goofy. I
Yeah.
think the one that always got me was people, and I mentioned this on a different stream. I think people railing against J.K. Rowling for having put Native American folklore into her book about magic in America, because she's not Native American, and the message essentially was because she put it in there, but didn't put it in there exactly like the Native American folklore has it, that she was doing harm to their culture, and she shouldn't have been doing it in the first place since she's not from that culture, which always struck me as, well, if that's the standard you're setting, then no one can write anything ever. Fiction will have to stop being a thing that is written, only nonfiction. Because where do people get their ideas from except other places and stuff? Anyway, that was the dumbest one I can remember at the top of my head.
For me, it's just the whole thing, especially when you have people who are quite obviously not of European descent bitching in English about cultural appropriation.
Yeah, it's
on the internet.
Yeah, on the
the most ridiculous one I saw was this little, I'm talking like tiny conservative channel, was trying to make the case that if you complain about cultural appropriation and you have dyed hair, you can't complain about that if you're not Egyptian, because the Egyptians created dyed hair.
Oh, wow.
There goes half the social justice arguments right there.
Yeah.
It just seems like the whole segregation thing taken to like a really extreme, ridiculous, and like not possible, place.
Yeah, that reminds me
like,
real quick. There's so this is something I've said on several of my videos now. I'm sure I've heard it elsewhere, but the phrase "people of color" really bugs me.
Yeah.
Really
It's
bugs
asinine.
me because I mean, when I was growing up and I was learning about the civil rights movement, the pictures of sort of social horror that I'd be shown were these, here's the white fountain, here's the colored fountain.
mhm.
Here's where the colored people can eat, and here's where the white people can eat. Defining people as colored people was right up there with nigger when I was growing up, and now it's like, this is how I'm supposed to refer to anyone not white. It's so backwards.
And it just like snuck up on us, like it feel like we got ambushed. Like, oh, we just changed things, and now you're a racist.
Everything's racist.
Yeah.
You see that fire hydrant? It's fucking racist.
It is
Everything-
racist. It is.
Is it colored red? Well, that's against Native Americans. Asshole.
Racist.
Yeah.
Racism.
Is it colored yellow? That's against Asian people, asshole.
Yeah, I told you about this, Scribe. I was at the doctor's office the other day, and like, well, I guess that's not a good example. I'm sorry. I'm gonna keep that to myself.
Okay, just a little add-on. What things have y'all heard that are funny? Oppression. Like, my husband is supposedly oppressing me every time he takes a breath because he's a cisgendered white male. What are the funniest oppressions have y'all heard?
The funniest one I've heard is farting.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah, fart rape.
Yeah.
Fart rape, yes. And they weren't kidding.
Oh man.
The eye
Men
rape is
farting
funny.
is sexist to oppress women.
The air conditioning argument, I thought, was the
Yes.
dumbest. Probably one of the dumbest. I'm sure there's a dumber one, but that was one of the dumbest ones.
I mean, man's.
I can go from personal experience here. I was at my job. I was training a new a girl that was starting, and I was explaining to her how to do something, and she literally looked me in the eye and said, "Stop mansplaining."
Oh my God, you gotta be kidding me.
I had a Facebook argument where a friend of mine was complaining about his neighbor, like coming home at night and like 4 a.m. and playing music loud, and like he used the word ghetto in there somewhere, and people started calling him racist or saying that it was racist that he used the word ghetto. And
Oh yes,
then
because white people don't live in ghettos.
I got involved in the conversation, and I used the phrase calling a spade a spade.
Oh,
And I got told that is using racist vocabulary because the word spade is a derogatory term for.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think men being able to pee standing up is oppressive. That's just not fair.
When was the last time you heard the word spade being used as a racial slur?
Right? I didn't even know
in any
that.
common parlance. I mean, you'd have to look back to movies from like the 50s or 60s or something to hear anybody use that in context anymore.
And in that same conversation, I
Yeah.
got called a mayo demon. Like,
I love it.
The white devil.
yep.
Can we
I'm
just do
gonna
Orca?
start calling white people in my videos Mayo demons.
Or you're like possessing the Mayo Clinic.
From Ace Ventura, what does he say? White devil, white devil, white devil. Oh, I can't
Yeah,
ever
the white
pronounce it.
devil. Well, what's Gazi Kodo say? The toilet seat complexioned people.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah.
I avoid Ghazi because he's freaky.
Whose turn is it? Or should we turn it to the chat?
Let's see what we got.
That is I had one more question. But it's a little. Well, here I'll if nobody wants to answer this one, that's fine. But I'll just throw it out there for the sake of so everybody in the chat, get your questions ready if you have them, or start typing them out to copy them into the chat.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I know, right? So trespassing again. Have you ever made out with and or stolen another person's significant other? You don't have to give the details, but just have you ever been that guy? Or
Yep.
Oh,
monkey,
Oh
monkey,
my
I know.
God.
Monkey, I'm not surprised. But anybody else?
Fuck you.
Hi.
yeah. I've been that guy multiple times, and not always women.
Oh, are you a bisexual dingo?
Yes, I've said this numerous times.
This is how much I pay attention to people's sexuality. I don't really care, but it's what. Oh, okay, all right.
There's not enough time.
Oh yeah, I've stolen people's boyfriends. I've stolen people's girlfriends.
Wow, you're horrible.
You're a man horde.
Well, this was back when I was younger, when I was also a drug addict.
Oh.
So I really didn't have a fuck to give.
Apparently, you fucked everybody else.
I gave plenty,
you
but
had several fucks to give, just not to anybody that was yours.
no metaphorical fucks to give.
Potato, you were going to say something?
Oh, just if you don't have enough time in the stream, it's just.
I don't know. Would y'all count me because I'm the second wife? But he was divorced before I met my husband.
No,
Unless you were having an affair with him while he was still married, that doesn't really count. No.
Oh yeah, I'm the only one that hasn't.
There was one time I've done it once, and only once, thankfully, because once was enough. My best friend in college, I had a dalliance with his crush. She wasn't technically his girlfriend; they weren't dating, but it was a known thing that he was crushing on her, and she and I got drunk, and stuff happened, and I knew I was doing wrong. I did it anyway because hormones, and afterwards I paid the price. I lost not only my best friend at the time, but also several peripheral friends as well. So I was that guy once,
Oh, that was loud.
and once was enough. So I've never done anything like that again.
There's just too much drama.
Lotus asked me, Scribe Light, do you think stormtroopers are racist? I saw that article
Yes,
today.
yes, they
so
are.
what it is that the Nazis got offended by cultural appropriation. That's why the stormtroopers are verboten now. I use verboten.
I thought it was just because they were white.
No, it's so apparently they offend people because they are derived from Nazi ideology and or imagery, and it's like, of course they're the bad guys. What do you want?
What isn't Nazi these days?
Me?
No, you're Nazi because you're a straight white, or you're a white male. You're a white male. You're Nazi.
I use German too. Okay, so let's go to the chat. Let's see if we have.
Just before we move on, I want to.
Sorry, what?
Before we move on, I want to clarify real quick. My situation, I was involved with a polyamorous couple. It's not my fault. That's it.
Okay, I guess
not my fault.
That's kind of a get out of jail free card, I suppose.
Kind of.
Let's see. Questions.
Well, the Ewoks aren't racist. They're victims of height discrimination.
Yes.
Are the Ewoks racist? No. Well,
No,
I don't
they're
know.
victims. They're victims.
I can't understand their language, so they might be. How big are ranting monkeys' balls?
Big.
Really big.
Fucking massive.
Guys, I got
fucking massive.
I hate to be too much of a stream Nazi, but there is a theme that I put like all of 3 seconds into thinking about before the stream was posted. So I would appreciate it.
Don't be a Nazi. Let them ask what they want.
No. The ranting monkeys, they're so big, they trespass on everybody else.
Oh, God.
This is true.
He's teabagging the world by default.
Metaphorically, they are huge. I'm not going to describe them literally, though.
Big hairy raisins.
Raisins.
All I'll say is there's this one vein that looks like a snake, and it fools me every time.
Oh.
That's wonderful imagery.
Oh God! Have you all snuck into?
I asked why.
Okay, I have snuck into a movie. My mom and my sister, we bought tickets for 9 months, starring what's his name? The British guy. Oh, you know who I'm talking about.
Oh God, what the hell is
Hugh Grant. Hugh Grant, and I think what's her name? Anyway, yeah. So we bought tickets for 9 months, but my mother knew that I was going to be sneaking. I was like 12 or 13 or something, I forget. But she knew I was going to be sneaking shortly thereafter into Species. So I snuck into Species so I could see Natasha Henstridge's boobs.
Nice.
They are nice boobs.
Have you guys?
I've never snuck in without paying at all.
Yeah.
We went to see Bonfire of the Vanities, and it sucked so bad we left and went and caught the end of Kindergarten Cop.
Yeah, God, that was a bad movie. Oh.
I never snuck into a movie, but does sneaking food in count?
Sort of. You're trespassing on their profit margin.
Yeah, good point. Because they're
Yay, metaphorical.
Let's see.
See, this is what happens when you don't let them ask whatever they want.
Oh, you need to let them ask whatever they want.
Okay, all right. Ask whatever you
Stripes
want.
was an awesome movie.
Yeah, Stripes was an awesome movie. Actually,
until the last 20 minutes.
And you know that Bonfire of the Vanities is actually exceedingly popular in France? Like ridiculously popular in France.
Well, the book was popular.
Yeah, the book I hear wasn't that bad, but the translation
that movie sucked.
Yeah, it did.
It doesn't surprise me that the French like it.
The story behind how bad it sucked and the making of it is actually far more interesting than the movie itself.
Speaking of movies, have any of y'all seen John Wick?
Yes.
Yes.
Isn't it badass?
Mm-hmm.
See, I don't like it.
Ranting.
I like the action, but it needs a much better plot.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I
They
agree.
killed my dog is not a reason to go on a murderous rampage.
John Wick 2. John Wick 2. Sorry.
I haven't seen 2 yet.
No. Everybody should see Logan. Logan was amazing.
I want to see Logan.
Absolutely amazing. And I got to say that there are a couple of hammy moments in there, but the thing is, and I've said this before on other streams with Monkey especially, everything that happens in that movie that is a touching moment or something that hits your heartstrings is earned. I mean, they work towards it. And thank God that you have an action movie for once where they actually understand you have to have quiet moments. You have to have moments where there are no music, there's no action, you actually have character development. It's so good. And I think it's the best thing that Fox has pushed out of the X-Men franchise ever. Amazing. Anyone seen Sallow? Oh God, not Sallow. Oh, if for those of you that don't know, Sallow is a what is that, like a? Is it? It's not a Belgian film. I forget where it's not a Serbian film either, but it's a foreign film. It is about as depraved. It's sort of like watching Hostel without the American movie rating standards.
Oh, nice.
It's really, really. Ugh. I Spit on Your Grave. Yes, I Spit on Your Grave. The original is the one to see. The remake is entertaining in a sort of sick way, but the first one is amazingly powerful and also disgusting. Okay, I'm not seeing many questions.
They were bouncing earlier. Now they're kind of like dead in the water.
Okay, well, thanks, guys.
That's what happens when you ignore your chat, Scribe.
I wasn't ignoring my chat. I told him from the beginning. It's like in the announcement for the thing, I said I'm gonna reserve some time for questions from the audience. So think about it.
Okay, we got a question there.
There we go. If tomorrow you were turned into the opposite sex gender, would you be gay, bi, or straight?
I would be locked in the closet with a mirror and a flashlight. You'd never see me again.
Oh my God.
I don't know. Am I hot? I mean, if I'm just turned into the other gender, but I don't have any of the, I mean, do I get to pick my form, like, Gozer, or what?
I like Gozer. You want Ghostbusters on our ass.
I would probably I've seen stay exactly the same because, kind of in the middle.
I mean, if my entire body chemistry changed along with my body, I might end up becoming gay technically, but if I'm a woman, I wouldn't be gay at that point, you see.
I'd be gay. So gay.
We're being very inclusive. But no, we have those other sexualities that are listed on that Tumblr page. Different things that you're attracted to, I guess.
Yeah. No, I'd probably still be attracted to women just because women are so attractive, just in general terms. Will we see social justice pushback with the god-awful horde of Avatar movies on the way? Well, we already kind of did, didn't we? There was already
That's another one?
Well, he's got at least 2 or 3 more in the works, supposedly, which I don't understand because the first one didn't impress me at all as far as a movie's concerned. But didn't I hear, somebody's might have to refresh me, but wasn't there some kind of pushback about the cultural appropriation of native peoples and stuff that was all in that thing because of the Na'vi and all that?
There was a little bit.
Yeah.
I
suppose if they have nothing else to do, they'll probably do it. But I think given the success of the movie, James Cameron's credibility as a filmmaker, I doubt it'll have much of an effect.
So you went and saw Logan. Did you stay into the very end of Logan to see the preview for Deadpool 2?
The thing for Deadpool is not at the end.
It's not?
No. I won't say anything, but there is no after credits scene. So once the credits start, you can leave the theater. You're not missing anything. But everything else I'm not going to talk about.
Do you mean for Logan? Because you said for Deadpool.
No, there's
a teaser for Deadpool somewhere.
Yeah.
Oh, that one.
It's somewhere. I'm not going to talk about where it is or how it happens. Just go to the movie and watch it. But I'm just telling you that to save your time when the movie's over. When you get to the credits, it really is over. There's nothing to see at the end of the credits, and I'm not joking. It seriously is just save yourself 10 minutes and go home. Is
it the same thing that they released at the or released on YouTube today?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, when I saw it in the theater, you didn't know at first that it wasn't the beginning of Logan, and that was the joke.
Gotcha. Okay.
Monkey, do you have a body, and why is it built like a bodybuilder?
Yes, and because I'm badass.
Yes, you are.
Actually, it's not anymore. Now I'm so scrawny. Here's a story that's depressing. Because of this whole neck injury of mine, my arms, which used to be really nice, have gotten kind of string beanie. And my wife has always liked my arms. And I was talking to her one day. I'm like, I am so sorry that my arms look like this now. And she goes, I wonder if that's a reason for divorce. You could be like, Your Honor, his shoulders and arms are all scrawny now. I'm like, wait a minute, my shoulders are scrawny now too? I just I used to be built nice, and now I look like a tragic victim.
Well, see, that's the thing. When in the vows it says to have and to hold. If you can't hold her, then you can't really have her as a wife. Don't know what to tell you.
That's terrible.
That actually kind of makes it sound like rape if you can't hold her.
I'm just kidding.
She got away, damn it. That's why they invented drugs.
Yeah, there will be no Logan spoilers. I'm not going to say anything about Logan. The movie is great. That's all I'll say is just and I even stopped for a second and thought about, okay, was there anything I didn't like? There are parts of the movies that are weaknesses in my mind, but they are so overwhelmed by just how awesome it is otherwise that it's almost inconsequential.
Are you familiar with the Old Man Logan story?
I own the collection of the first pass of it.
Okay, so without giving it away, how do you think it translated? Because it's obviously not.
Well, it's a complete adaptation. There are plot elements in a very loose fashion used in this movie that were in the comic books, but it is a completely different story, an absolutely different story. Except for the look of the character and one element of the fact that they're traveling somewhere. That doesn't give anything away, but that they're traveling somewhere and they're on the run effectively. Aside from those two things, it is essentially a completely original adaptation, and it's fine by me. It didn't hurt anything by that, as far as I'm concerned.
Hey, I got one for y'all. Y'all know the new movie that's coming out, the Beauty and the Beast live action, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, what do y'all think of them making LeFou the first Disney open gay character?
I think they should have made all the characters gay.
Oh.
And just made it a big gay porn.
Wouldn't that be bestiality?
Beauty and the Bestiality. We talked about this the other night.
That's gonna be the porn spoof.
Yes. I think that unless it's vital to the plot, you don't need to talk about anybody's sexuality, gay or straight. It's just a marketing ploy so they can pat themselves on the back. We talked about this the other night.
What blew my mind is that they used LeFou. Look at his character from the original movie. He was like this pathetic little pipsqueak thing that was just there for comic relief and has this groupie obsession with Gaston, and they're going to make that the first gay character.
Well, yeah, because gay is a comic relief, obviously.
Apparently.
I just like Monkey was saying, it just seems like unnecessary pandering and just whatever. Okay, it doesn't offend me or something. I just like it just seems so cheap. It's like this is the thing to pay attention to about this character. He's gay.
Yeah.
Like, okay, great. You've just whittled this character down to a complete stereotype. Congratulations.
So
I grew up on Beauty.
Real quick, somebody asked earlier what Potato's YouTube channel is.
I'll put some links in the description after the stream is done. Unless I can do it now. Can I edit?
There's not much to see. I'm just the potato.
Yeah, she has one video so far, so she's still growing.
But she has a very sweet voice, so she's going to have cute privilege like me.
Mm-hmm.
That's very sweet of you. Well, I might be able to get us back on the no trespassing train if you have a question.
Okay.
How does intersectionality invite in people of other cultures when they have a no trespassing allowed approach to cultural appropriation? How do they do those mental gymnastics to get there?
That's a good question. Interesting.
Can I go?
Go for it.
Because they don't see it as they're allies. They're not taking it over.
Yeah.
It's the whole ally thing.
Well, how do they know how do they virtue signal that? I guess that's what they're doing, is virtue signaling to making sure people know it's okay for them to, but then they still aren't really allowed to culturally appropriate.
So what it comes down to is a reinstatement of an idea that we supposedly were trying to move away from, and that is separate but equal. It's like we can have multiculturalism so long as the lines are drawn and they shall never cross. I'm a good person because I want everybody in, but I want everybody to be just, their own thing without actually any crossover. That makes me a good person somehow.
Like recognize my race, but don't ask me about my race.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like they're trying to have, at the same time, like, have respect for boundaries, but also be inclusive. Like they're trying to give someone a hug that they know, like they think that they don't want a hug. I don't know if that makes any sense.
It does. It's like that whole thing. You're not allowed to ask me about my race. That's you're being offensive if you ask me if I'm Mexican or Puerto Rican or something, but you need to recognize that I'm Mexican or
Right.
Puerto Rican. It's like,
Yeah.
how am I supposed to recognize it if I don't know what it is?
Yeah, you're not allowed to talk about it, but yeah.
Respect it.
Yeah, exactly.
It blows
Respect
my
my authority.
mind.
And it kind of goes back to that trapping mechanism where there's information that you don't know that they think for whatever reason you should know, and then you're in trouble when you don't know it.
It's like those pronoun things. It's like, you respect my pronouns, and you change them every day. How are we supposed to know it or respect it if we don't know what it is?
You know what that is? I realized this a long time ago. It is the adult extension with extra words of, if you have to ask, you'll never know.
Mm-hmm.
I used to hear that on the playground when I was a kid. If you have to ask, you'll never know. And I just think that's the exact same sentiment that's being pumped at me, where it's like, it's not my responsibility to educate you on it. Like, oh, for God's sakes.
Emotional labor.
Okay, now I'm being
Emotional
culturally
labor.
I'm being cultural appropriated because I have the southern accent. I'm so offended.
Yep. Now, when's your next lynching?
1 week from tomorrow.
Nice.
Okay, a week from tomorrow. Okay.
How's your cousin? How's your cousin?
Nothing spells loving like marrying your cousin. Scribelight, what do you think of the heavy SJW infection of Marvel Comics? Well, it's showing in the sales figures. I mean,
Yeah.
Lady Thor dropped pretty quick. A lot of the other things, I think they did Angela, the angel character they took from Spawn and somehow made her a Marvel character, which is really weird. But then that all fell apart too.
Aren't these called gender benders?
Well, no, Angela was a original character, and she was always female. That's fine. But the sort of like, we're gonna make Thor female, we're gonna make Iron Man a teenage black girl, and all this, it's like, it's not even sort of like novel anymore. It's just sort of boring. Just make a new character, for God's sake.
Yeah, how condescending is it to give them an old white character?
Yeah.
We won't even give you a new one. We're just gonna take this old honky and move him out and let you have him.
Yeah, I know. I mean, Iron Man could conceivably be, it's the suit, not the man. Okay.
Right.
Thor is a guy. That is the name of a character. That is his own name. It's not a title. It's not a suit of armor. It's not some kind of designation. It is a person. So to call a girl Thor, it's not Thor. The only time in Marvel Comics where that ever made any sense was a What If comic where Rogue accidentally sucked all the life out of Thor and basically absorbed his entire persona, soul, power, whatever. And then there was this huge conflict, and eventually she was renamed or rechristened as Thor. And that was as close as it came, as far as I'm concerned, to where it was almost legit that could happen, because she was effectively now Odin's daughter by an extension. But other than that, it's all just
Sorry, go ahead.
That gave me a really weird thought.
Hmm.
When Rogue touches a guy and she, like, say she takes half of his life force, does her vagina like fill up so she looks like a Barbie doll?
No, she doesn't take on the physical manifestations of the person.
Oh, see, I'm not as up on that. See, that would make a much more interesting character to me.
Yeah, so Rogue originally was just a girl that could, if she touches someone, she absorbs temporarily some of their memories. If they have superpowers, she temporarily gets their powers, and also weakens them, etc. If she holds on too long, she could kill the person and assume permanently some aspects of their personality or powers. So that's why she can go a little crazy. Her big problem is that she absorbed all the powers of the original female Captain Marvel and killed her. And so the ghost of the original the female Captain Marvel was sort of haunting in her head the whole time. That's how she could fly. That's how she was super strong. Not because she was naturally that way, but because she stole those things from another person.
So she's just a thief.
Yeah, pretty much. And she was like Mystique's adopted daughter in the Brotherhood of Mutants for a long time, and a bunch of other stuff. So yeah.
Have they ever gone I know they gone from male to female. Have they ever gone female to male? Or is that, sexist?
Let's see. Captain Marvel was a title and eventually went to a woman. So no, that's not one. Female to male. Huh. I don't know. I'm trying to think.
remember.
I can't. I'm trying to think if there was. I mean, it would have to be like. Well, I would presumably be like a title or some kind of like brand name sort of superhero that eventually got taken on by someone else. Maybe the chat knows of such a thing.
On that note, and kind of going back to the question Danny had earlier, I was curious what you guys would consider like plots that you will never see like in like mainstream media because they're just not. We're not able to talk about them openly right now.
The end of Revenge of the Nerds.
The entire movie Blazing Saddles.
Oh my god, I have to watch that when I get home now.
I love that fucking movie.
I love that movie. That's like the best movie ever.
There's just so many things. If you look at any 80s television show that they can't be done anymore, just the basic plot premises.
Mel Brooks in all of his movies push the boundaries of what we would say today.
Oh yeah.
And it's so interesting because it's the same people who are like, social justice oriented that I see like, mourning, like, who are super into, Blazing Saddles, like it kind of crosses, but at this, like, I know people who, make horrible jokes all the time in their, like, their day-to-day, like, things with their friends, but then like complain about PewDiePie, It's very frustrating.
Where's Danny?
Yeah, Danny.
Danny. Come to us, Danny. He disappeared.
Oh.
Scribe, did you see the question somebody asked? If you could punch one person in the stream, who would it be?
If I could punch someone in the stream?
Yeah.
No, me and Potato are too cute. You can't punch us.
Are we talking about Pork Punch in the Mommy Box?
They weren't that specific.
Oh, okay. If I could punch, see, I'm not a violent person. I wouldn't punch anybody, unless you're a Nazi.
Well, then we're all Nazis here.
All right, is Danny back?
No.
Okay, he's just kind of floating there in sort of stasis. Maybe something happened. Okay, well we'll wait and see.
What about you, Randy Monkey? Who would you punch?
Probably Danny.
Because he's not here.
It's by default because there's two women and I wouldn't punch a woman. And me and Scribe have spent a lot of time together. I know him much better.
Bro love. It's the man love.
He hasn't annoyed me yet, so I wouldn't hit him. So that leaves me with the person I know the least. So
yeah, yet being the operative word. Just give it time.
Well, I just assume everybody's going to annoy me because that's who I am.
Okay. Well, maybe I'll get the record. That'll have to. So to pull things back a bit more literally into the topic, just for the sake of curiosity, I've had many conversations on this question, and I don't expect there to be answers because if you do come up with an answer,
can you hear me now?
There he is.
Yes.
Oh, there you are.
If you come up with
I
an
had
answer,
to change out my microphone.
Oh, were you having technical difficulties?
I believe this microphone shit the bed, and just in time for me to have ordered my new Blue Yeti yesterday.
Well, you sound decent now, so I think we're okay.
Awesome.
So as I said, if you come up with an answer to this question, you'll win a Nobel Peace Prize. But just for the sake of conversation, what do we do, America at least, about the immigration crisis? What is the just way to handle it?
I've had this conversation a lot.
Then go ahead.
I don't know. There's no clear-cut answer. There's a lot of things in this world where it will never be completely moral, just, and perfect. But I think that the best we could hope for is to have a system where we properly vet people, we look into their backgrounds, we base it on the global political climate. If there's things going on with certain groups at a given time, that group needs more attention. I'm sorry. And it's a matter of they're not American citizens yet. They're asking us for the favor of making them American citizens. So they have to, unfortunately, go through steps so that we can feel safe and comfortable having them be a part of our country.
And here I am thinking of just making the surrounding stable countries actually do their job and take in these people from an unstable area.
Now, do I need a serious answer or do I need a comical answer? Because I say they need to sacrifice a lamb or something.
Monkey.
Now, are you talking illegal immigration, refugees?
So, I mean,
immigration as a whole?
Well, so well, okay, let's be more specific then. What is the just way to handle the illegal immigrants, excuse me, currently in the country?
Tracking devices and electric fences.
Oh, I misunderstood. I thought you meant for
Oh,
people.
boy.
No, I was far too
Oh,
general.
yeah.
I'm getting more specified now.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I thought you were talking about Muslim immigration.
No, just immigration. So let's talk about illegal immigration. So people who are here illegally now, what do you do to solve that, quote unquote?
GPS guided shot collars.
Sorry, my connection had some issue there right as you started asking the question.
Sorry. So regarding illegal immigration, those that are in the country presently who are illegally here, what is the best way to handle that situation?
I'm not going to say I have any answer to that at all, but I do think that a part of it is having more like real human interaction involved. I think that, you know, the bureaucracy of it is a problem, and people, I feel like I don't have anything to back that up, but I feel like the human element is missing in a way.
Make them get a job. Half of them will disappear probably.
The easiest way to actually get illegals to leave would be to start going after the businesses that hire them.
Don't we do that?
No, we really don't. Not the way that we should. It's a slap on the hand, and
I would even go even farther and say not only go after the businesses that take care of them, but take away any and all benefits they might get from coming here.
That's
now,
what I'm saying.
not
They have to get a job.
Not a humanitarian answer, but we also have to stop apologizing for being a country that has laws.
No, not at all.
Like the Guadalupe Gomez thing, she got to be here for 20 years illegally. The last 8 of those as a fucking felon.
Right, and I think that that has something to do with the bureaucracy of the process involved, and that she would have been deported a lot sooner if like people were actually, you know, if it was more than paperwork, you know, if like people were invested in what they were doing more, if that makes sense.
One of the criticisms about how it was quote unquote handled is that, you know, she was torn away from her children. Well, if she had been a citizen, she'd have been torn away from her children, and we wouldn't be
right.
We would have no problem with it because her ass would have been in prison.
Mm-hmm.
So we take a look at this from when it comes to immigration, for some reason, we don't look at it as though it is a crime, even when they are committing other crimes. Well, I had several people on my video, well, she only committed that crime because, like, no, as soon as you try justifying it, she still committed another crime. Being here was a fucking crime.
I think the fallback, I think the sort of sentimental barrier that prevents a lot of this from being seen as something wrong fundamentally is the American is apple pie argument of we are a nation of immigrants, etc.
Mm-hmm.
You know, give us our
but
quarter.
We're not.
No, hold on.
Legal. Those are legal immigrants.
Hold on. I'm not agreeing with that. I'm saying that is the mental bar that is being jumped over as far as making an argument that we are different than the rest of the world in the sense that we are a nation that is purely based on immigration and the melting pot, etc. Now, I don't agree with that because that was legal immigration. The people that came to Ellis Island were going there legally. They came in and became citizens properly. People that come here illegally are trespassing. And it's no different than if I went to Germany and just walked out and said, I'm here now, I get citizenship. They would not take me seriously. They'd ship my ass back to America, and they'd be right to do so. So, but the again, the sort of sentimental, patriotic, you know, it's a wrong thing to say or wrong thing to understand kind of thing against when you put the word immigration into it rather than trespasser. When you say immigrant, you are giving it a kind of credibility of their being here, that their reasons for being here are pure, that our obligation as America to treat them a certain way is also somehow, you know, pure.
It's so strange that it's like considered patriotic, that because there should, as a country, we should have some barriers to entry if we're, you know, worth anything, I would think.
I'm gonna guess I'm just a heartless bitch. I should say send them back if they're illegally here.
Yeah, I tend to agree with that. Take away any incentive that they would have to come here, and then ship them home when we find them. Don't like I don't believe in like hunting them down and like breaking into people's houses to try to find them. But as we find them, ship them home.
Monkey.
Well, when you said, the nation of immigrants, that is fucking nonsense. This nation, there's a reason in the Constitution that it says in order to be president, you had to have been born here.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because the people who wrote it were born here.
Yeah.
The country was not founded by immigrants. They were people who were born in the United States for the most part.
Right.
It just wasn't called the United States at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Are they talking about the mass immigration from like Italy,
Well, they are,
Ireland?
But from that same notion, as far as we know, human life sprang up in Africa. So every country is technically populated with immigrants if you want to look at it by that fucking weird standard.
Right. The other thing too is that when I hear the quote like, "Oh, give us your tired, your poor," it's like, okay, that was a nice little poem on a statue. That's not the Constitution. That's not the law. That's not how it works. That's a nice sentiment. Right. It's a humanitarian sentiment, not one that I necessarily disagree with when you're talking about people who are being running from a war zone, need sanctuary, are being religiously or otherwise targeted in their home country, and their lives are on the line, etc. Being under the gun economically is not a reason to be given sanctuary.
It's a plea for emotion. At a time when maybe that was more necessary. That's being applied at a time where it's not as useful.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
And I also understand that a lot of the mystique, no pun intended for the X-Men previous conversation, of being America is that we are morally superior. I mean, let's just put it this way, American exceptionalism. We are morally superior than most of the other nations on the planet because we have all these freedoms and all these rights and all these freedom of movement, etc., that a lot of countries do not either allow or enjoy. Consequently, there's like this burden of sort of like success guilt that seems to be employed a lot of times to sort of justify taking actions that would be otherwise detrimental to us, but are pie in the sky, sort of altruistic, which they may be in a sense, but are also not necessarily smart things to do if you're a sovereign nation.
Is that success privilege?
Well, I mean, sort of like survivor's guilt, what's all that tapping? That tapping is starting to get on my nerves, whoever's tapping.
That might have been me, sorry.
Oh, what are you doing?
Damn it, monkey.
Are you tap dancing?
No, playing with a pen, sorry.
You're playing with a pen?
It's my hands always have to be busy and they don't work well enough to do anything else.
Jerk off or something. Do something productive. No, that's fine. I just wanted to make sure there wasn't like some. I thought it was an echo or something in the. Okay, all right.
You can do other things with your hands, monkey. Figure it out.
Yeah, but you don't want to hear that.
Snap your fingers. You do it all by yourself. But yeah, do you think it's sort of like success guilt? It's sort of superpower, sense of responsibility or something?
That would make a lot of sense because we're probably one of the only nations that have really succeeded.
Well, I know.
No,
I mean,
sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna go back to the privilege thing of it. It's like white guilt and white privilege. It's kind of like success guilt and where we know that we have benefits because of where we're at, and we feel guilty about it.
I don't think it's actually guilt. I think it's the ultimate virtue signaling.
Mm.
This is how much I care.
Right.
Oh, I read this amazing research article. I'm sorry to bust in, but it was about how people, they virtue signal all the time, and it's usually them trying to cover up their own guilt of doing what they're virtue signaling.
Oh, sure.
Well, yeah.
You think it's kind of like that?
Yeah.
I mean, you'll never find the bigger zealot of any particular cause than someone who was originally a violator of that sentiment. It's like the reformed bank robber or the clean drug addict or something. It's like now they're a crusader. Again, I'm not saying that happens for everybody. I'm just saying that the most righteous crusaders of any particular cause are probably in the past or in their hearts guilty of whatever it is they're railing against others for.
Well, this is me and you have talked about this before, but the people who will tell you everybody's racist, the only person they can say for sure is racist is them.
Right.
Exactly.
And those are the same people who have all of this white guilt. They're the ones who have to prove just how not racist they are because they are racist. They know they are. And they project it to everybody else to make themselves feel better.
It just seems like it takes too much energy. Why can't people just live and not go so excessive?
Well, there's also a phenomenon, and one of the videos I did recently sort of showed this. There was this lady who wrote a book that was trying to educate white people on how even though you say you're not a racist, you really have things to work on, that kind of thing. And she was describing how her sort of realization of her own sin or whatever took place. And as I listened to her, I thought to myself, you know, I don't know exactly what happened, but it sounds like somebody told you were being racist even though you weren't. Because if you were actually racist and somebody said that, you'd say, well, yes, I mean, white people are superior. So if you've been guilted or shamed or something into thinking you're something you're not, and then of course you decide to go on a crusade to quote unquote help others and or redress your own internal sin or something, again, it's one of those things where you get to a point where it's like, where's the line between actually being a victim of somebody else's bullshit and then turning that around and becoming the villain yourself, you know?
It's kind of like I made a mess, so if anyone else didn't make a mess, they would be better than me. So everyone else must have made a mess so I can maintain my image of myself, if that makes sense.
I could see that, how vehemently the way that they defend this, man. Especially, do any of you remember the video that Michael Rowlands made? Like, I want to say it was like 3 weeks ago, about how everyone is inherently racist. And I just kept sitting there thinking, like, Mikey, if you're a racist and you don't like it and you want to like redeem yourself of that, just say it. That you don't have to reflect on everyone else.
It's a lot of it's just immaturity, like, I feel.
And then they become allies.
Oh God, that phrase just bums the hell out of me. There was I am entertaining doing a video. There's a organization or a conference, a yearly conference called Lesbians Who Tech. And it's called Lesbians Who Tech Plus Allies. And I'm like, boy, talk about making people who just aren't lesbians feel like second-class individuals. Like, oh yes, there's us, and then there's our cheerleaders. And like,
like the Black Hitler has his little allies.
Okay. Any other questions from the chat? Because I feel like I'm getting flop sweat up here trying to keep things interesting for people. I don't know if people are getting bored now.
No, we can always try and figure out what Monkey's doing with his hands.
Oh, that's right. What are you doing with your hands now, Monkey?
I'm surfing while I listen.
Oh, okay. Porn?
No, actually,
he's
checking my comments
like a monkey.
Spanking like a monkey, yeah.
Are you oppressed?
Seeing if anybody's coming to poor Riley's defense on my latest video.
Yeah. How do we do Riley's videos? Oh my God, he talks so fast. I think he's on speed.
Scribe, would you do the sex with Danny? Yes,
I did. Sex. Oh my God.
I did phrase it that way the other day. Yeah. Well, I was drinking a little bit.
Scribe likes to do the sex.
I do the sex. Yeah. Well, I gotta be unique, you know.
Of course.
Okay, so not knowing what, and I was talking earlier about let's not talk about celebrity gossip, but okay, just out of morbid curiosity, what is the latest Riley Dennis crusade?
Actually, this wasn't his latest one. It should have been, but because of my
I can go on Twitter. Hang on.
Fucked up schedule, I couldn't get the. It's a collab with SDA, and so it came out like a week late. But this was about him standing up for Islam.
Oh, I did one on that.
Oh, he's such an idiot.
He is. Oh my God. And yeah, he says, ranting, I want you to put this in your video. He says no Americans were killed by like Iraqis. How many American soldiers died in Iraq?
Oh, I saw that video. Wait, wasn't that the one that I was talking to you about, Foxy?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, the thing I wanted to point out was it was interesting that he left Libya off his list of countries that haven't killed Americans. Because
this
Libya
is not
has.
that video.
Oh, it's not.
Oh, was it?
Oh,
Nope,
okay.
that one came before. This
Oh,
one
this
is
is new.
a
Okay.
newer one, yes, where he's because he gets so many comments asking him how he can stand up for Islam. It's him explaining how he does it.
Oh,
I
okay.
really
Yeah.
enjoyed your
Stop
video.
using. Here's a tweet of his. Stop using gay people to justify your prejudice and hatred against Muslims. And he tweeted that about 7 hours ago.
You can read his tweets?
Yeah.
I'm not blocked by those son of a bitch
Yeah.
yet.
I'm blocked by Shives. I've never checked to see if I'm blocked by Riley Dennis.
Oh, I love to troll him sometimes. I'll just go see what he's freaking posting, especially with the transgender bathroom thing.
Yeah.
I was like, he has to be throwing mega size hissy fit.
Yeah, his I want to say his most recent video was actually about the whole situation with Trump and the whole free speech thing. And I actually did a video on that being like, no, idiots, free speech is not under threat.
That's right. His latest one is about the Trump banning the press, wasn't it?
Oh.
He didn't
Yeah,
ban it though, did they? I
No.
heard that he actually didn't.
No,
He
he
banned two certain organizations. I think it was like BuzzFeed and CNN. It was
he didn't
there were a
even
couple
ban them.
others
He just
actually.
didn't invite them.
Okay, I got
Yeah.
the smartest
Yeah.
people on YouTube right here. Please explain this Jeff Sessions thing to me. 'cause-
Sessions?
Jeff
Yeah, what
Sessions.
happened?
Okay, so before
He was doing his job and he got shit for it.
yeah, so during the campaign, prior to Trump being president, he had contact with the Russian ambassador, and then he went and during his confirmation hearing to become attorney general, he was asked if he had any contact with the Russians, etc. And during the campaign, and he said no. When in fact, well, the Russian ambassador is Russian, as has been said, so technically he was incorrect or he was, misspoke or whatever else. But
No, wait, hang on.
Okay.
He was the specific comment he made was, had he been in contact with the Russians about the campaign?
Oh, okay.
So that was very specific in there. That's why he did not lie.
Okay.
Because he did meet with the ambassador privately once, and he was at a party with him. Not a party, but a gathering where they were both there.
Yeah, and I mean, associating with or contacting foreign leaders is just part of the job of representing this country sometimes. It's got nothing to do with something insidious or whatever. Now,
Well,
I'm
did
not
you see
what?
Nancy, I think it was Nancy Pelosi said she'd never met with that ambassador, and it turns out she has.
Oh, of course. It's just everybody's trying to play. I'm the purest individual right now. Now, honestly, I'm not that jazzed with Jeff Sessions being the attorney general for several reasons. But that aside, as I've always said, if you're going to hold somebody to account for something, hold them to account for something they've done. Because if you hold them to account for something they didn't do, all you're doing is making them the victim of your lie and hurting your own credibility. So it's just a waste of time.
Yep. Counterproductive.
I'm getting some questions up here that I need to answer because I don't want to be. Let's see. Scribe, do you have Netflix? If so, do you know there's a documentary about trans kids? I wish I was joking. I do have Netflix. I didn't know there's a documentary about it. I'm not surprised by it at all. Scribe, how much leather gear do you need to be a pig slut? Well, if the leather is pigskin, one piece. What else? Scribe drinks. Yes, I occasionally have. If I'm out, I'll have a frou-frou drink like an apple martini. But if I'm just like at home, it'll be like a Jack and Coke or something.
An apple martini? You mean an appletini?
Yes.
You need to get up on. Don't fuck up.
I call it an apple martini because it's a bit of both. Although I appreciate if it's a bit more apple than it is martini because there's only so much I can take with vodka sometimes.
How kinky do you get with redhead, Scribe?
Okay, Foxy. Well, given that my last 3 girlfriends in one way or another were all redheads, always.
Depend on how hard you hit him in the head.
What
Oh.
donkey punch? No, there's no donkey punching. That's not fun.
That is funny.
Not for them.
No.
Yeah.
Well,
Although I remember,
more questions?
I got a funny anecdote real quick. So in college,
About beating women?
No, not about beating women.
Are
wish.
you sure?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. So in college, I had become the president of the bondage club, but I mean, I looked like any normal person walking around. And I sat down at lunch one time with a friend of mine, and he had a friend of his sit down who didn't know me. And I'm looking like every, Joe Normal clean cut guy. And this guy, who I found out later was basically like a living troll himself, he's going to try to freak me out. So he looks at me, leans over the table, he gets wild eyes, says, "Hey, you ever heard of rodeo sex?" And I look at him like, no. So what it is, it's when you're fucking your girlfriend from behind, but you've got your friends hiding in the closet, right? And then they all bust out and start cheering, and you have to hold on for 8 seconds before she kicks you off. And he's looking at me, and like, he's like waiting for me to like get all offended or something, because I look like somebody who might get offended by, dirty stuff or something. And I look at him and says, "Well, that seems a little bit counterproductive if you want to keep a relationship, but yeah, big deal. What?" And he's like, I said something like that. And he looks at me like he's waiting for me to like run away or shriek back in fear or something. And it's just like, no. And he doesn't know what to do. It's like he's never not offended someone before or freaked them out. He's like, "What, that doesn't bother you?" And I said, "Dude, I read serial killer books for fun, and I'm president of the Bondage Club." And his jaw drops, and that was sort of my best moment.
That is fantastic.
Foxy, would you slap Danny? Boy, we're getting into some real.
No. He asked a specific question. He asked if I would slap him across the ass, and depends if Danny likes it.
Gutenberg's in the chat. Suddenly, cancer just arrived.
Yeah, cancer.
Scribe,
and I posted. I'm sorry, I posted.
There's not a whole hell of a lot I'm against, just so you know.
Oh, I posted a question to Monkey. He hasn't answered it yet.
Oh, I didn't see it.
What was the question?
Would he give you a reach around?
What kind of streams do you think he and I get up to?
It would depend on how nice he'd been. I'm
nice. You're bored and lonely, and I come and comfort you for every time you call. I'm a fairly nice guy.
Monkey loving.
I was explaining you to my wife today.
Oh God, I can't wait to hear this. Define me.
Well, no, I had to explain for the conversation because our last stream actually has done very well in replay, which is odd because it's a long stream.
Right.
And I was just telling my wife about who was in there, and I came to you. I'm like, he's going to be the guy you always see in there because he's the only one who will talk to me.
Is that no? Honestly, is that true? People don't talk to you? I don't get.
No, actually, what it is most of the people we talk to in that one little group are foreign. We can't keep the same hours, and I used to be able to talk to them, but with my granddaughter now, I don't have time until after 8, and that's like 3 o'clock in the morning their time.
That's true.
Talk to me, Monkey. I'm lonely too.
Come on by sometime. We stream anytime I get bored.
Yeah, just watch his Twitter. It'll happen.
Hey, just let me know, Monkey. I'm one of your biggest fans.
Someone make a fanfic about Monkey and Scribe and call it Monkey Loving. Oh God. Well, just now it'll happen.
Yeah.
Let's see.
That should be a hashtag. Hashtag Monkey Loving.
Monkey Loving. Okay. Well, I think we have officially veered off from the proposed topic, unless somebody else has anything that has occurred to them at this point. Then
I would dare say giving you a reach around is trespassing.
Ooh, very.
I was gonna say no. We're trespassing into each other's sex lives.
Well, there has to be one to talk about it, but that's just me. Gutenberg, please show your sweet perky titties. Oh God.
Hey, hashtag Monkey Loving.
No, here it begins.
Everyone needs to go tweet that. Hashtag Monkey Loving.
Yeah, we should do a stream sometime. We should do a stream sometime where we're just sort of doing like Mad Libs, erotic fiction to each other.
Oh yeah, I have Mad Libs around somewhere. We'll have to do that.
Yeah, just change all the words to something dirty, and then just go back and forth. Like just list 7 nouns, and then we fill it in, then we read it out loud.
Laura wants to know how easy it is for you to trust someone.
Not very. After my last several relationship experiences, I have many trust issues.
Is that just romantic or friend too? Because she elaborated.
Kind of both. I mean, so my romantic relationships, as I've described in different streams, I got completely raked through the coals on the last 2 heavy duty relationships I was in. On the friend side, like just recently, and I talked about this when it happened, my best friend from the last 10 years because I abstained from voting in the presidential, she took that to mean I was de facto supporting Trump. Therefore, I was endangering her health and her reproductive rights, etc. And she basically just ended our relationship. She came somewhat to her senses within about 3 or 4 days thereafter. But for 3 or 4 days, I was. I mean, if I had been a younger version of myself, I would have been completely devastated, my heart broken. But it was just one more vein of scar tissue at that point. I was just kind of like, well, great, not even my best friend over something that has nothing to do with anything. That was a pretty tough pill to swallow.
You're gonna make me say it.
Yes, I know. But you know what? I was thinking about this the other day when you're describing your youthful indiscretions all over the place as compared to my relative monkishism. Your life makes me sad.
That's because you didn't get to live it.
That's right.
I don't know. I've recently had my own interesting developments with trust. Because like I started out, I think
I will be back in a minute, guys. Sorry.
Okay.
But I started out, I think, as like an overly trusting person in life. Like I really trusted like a lot and didn't question, too much. And like I've been progressively getting more and more like wary. Like I used to be very like self, doubting more than anything else. And like recently I had an incident where someone who I had, I've told you about this, Scribe, but someone who I had told like deeply, deeply personal things to, just like turned it around on me completely in the most vicious way. And like I kind of learned because like I didn't know that person well enough to have believed them when they told me we were as good friends as we were. So like I guess I'm kind of learning how to be more guarded in a way that's not going to close myself off entirely.
The only person I trust in, the real world is Oppressive Hubby. I don't trust people.
Is that his screen name?
No, my Oppressive Hubby is not really on social media a lot. It pisses him off a lot, but I call him Oppressive Hubby, like I said before, because he's a cisgendered white straight male, so he oppresses me by existing. Every time he breathes, it oppresses me. I have to cook him dinner. I have to clean the house. I have to take care of him.
Make him a damn
sick.
sandwich.
Well, if every time he breathes, he oppresses you, just tell him to use some mouthwash. So shall I invite Gutenberg into the stream for the last half hour?
Yes.
Uh-oh, he says he has something to say. This is a dangerous prospect. Okay, one
Oh
second.
gosh. I'm ready for it.
I oppress Benihana's anus every day, and he loves it.
There's another thing that Oppressive Hubby oppresses me with, but I'm not going to get into that.
The shaft.
So where is he?
It takes us.
Gives you that good stick.
Always.
Oh my.
Yeah, I'm in the military. The dirty jokes can go forever with me.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure where the line is where we start like violating community guidelines and talking here. All right. Well,
I've already talked about ass fucking somebody without mentioning whether or not it was consensual. So I mean,
there you go.
we're already pretty far down the rabbit hole.
Okay. Well,
I think Potato, since you're so new, I love your voice. You're so sweet.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I don't know about my voice, so I like the reassurance. Outside validation. It's good. Thank you.
At least you sound feminine. I sometimes I feel like I sound like a damn child.
No, you sound great. You have a very lovely voice.
Oh, thank you.
Hello, Gutenberg.
oh God, what are you drinking? How are you contributing to your diabetes today?
I'm actually having coffee at 7:30 at night. How about that?
Coffee. You need some coffee.
I get some coffee. Yeah.
All right, you have something to say, so
I just wanted to hop in and call you guys nigger faggots. I got nothing better to do. I'm taking a break from playing H1Z1.
You are a real American.
I am fucking dude. I drink coffee.
H1Z1. I watch the Twitch fails on that quite a bit. When like you drive in a car and it bumps into a rock and it explodes.
Yes. Yes, the game is very fucking laggy, and they're still waiting for developers to recode shit and patch stuff. But evidently it's not fucking happening, dude. This game has taken over my life in the last week.
Why? I don't know. See, now I've watched a lot of footage. I've seen a lot of people get like all really worked up about it, and the lagginess and the bugginess of it almost is adding to its charm in a way. But why is it addictive? I don't get it. It's just another.
Dude, I put off. I had to get rid of my what was that noise? I had to put off my get rid of my last PC, dude, because I let it take over my life with games and shit. And this was like, I don't know, like 8-9 years ago, whatever. And I've been so bored with YouTube editing other people's content and shit. So I was like, fuck it. So I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm adult. I'm a grown male. I can control myself. I'm gonna get myself a game. I'm not gonna let it consume my life. Well, I got about 45 hours logged in the last week playing this fucking game.
So you have an addictive personality, is what you're saying?
To certain things, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But the problem is once I get involved in something, I need to be the fucking best at it or as good as I can be. And that's what it is with this fucking game, and I'm horrible at it.
So
what makes me keep playing.
So when I included you in that montage of quote unquote type A personalities, I wasn't too far off the mark.
I don't know. What is it? Type A. What is that? Alpha personality? What is that?
Basically. Yeah, someone who's like, I've got to be the best, competitive, you know. Yeah.
No, but it's only certain things.
Jeez. Whoa, what was that?
That's so cute.
Oh my
God. Was that a potato sneeze?
That was a potato sneeze.
That's what this is what it sounds like when a potato sneezes.
That was loud as fuck. Holy shit.
That was adorable.
Anyway, what do you find people up to this fine night?
Well, the theme for the night was no trespassing allowed, and we have had various abstract or direct questions that have spurred out of that that theme. Does that phrase conjure anything in your mind, Gutenberg?
Wait, say that again.
No trespassing allowed.
On what?
I don't know. That's just
anything.
Yeah. Like, I mean, we've had questions like, have you ever messed around with somebody else's significant other? Have you what was the other stuff? How is what do you think about Donald Trump banning the media or barring certain news outlets from press conferences and sort of like I said, the abstract notion of trespassing or going where you shouldn't, that kind of thing.
What's in there? What are they hiding?
I really have nothing to add to that. I haven't been paying attention last week, as I explained earlier. No, I don't even know what's going on. He banned CNN from showing up at the press conferences, right?
He just didn't invite a couple of news outlets from showing up, and it's not. We're not talking about necessarily current events. It's just like even questions that are just kind of silly have been asked too. Just
I've never messed with a best friend's girlfriend or ex-girlfriend.
Oh, well, Monkey's saying might not be able to make it back, so that's too bad.
Yeah, that's right.
Thank you for coming along, Monkey. If you can't come back.
Well, I only got like 20 minutes. You said you're gonna wrap up in what, half an hour, 10 minutes?
Yeah, at the top of the hour. I usually let my streams go about 2 hours, just because too long. There's no reason to usually.
Yeah, 2 hours. 2 hours is a good time. It's a good limit. So how you been, Scribbles?
Well, I've been fine. I hit 400 subscribers last week, and I'm almost at 500. I'm 20 away from 500. Which once I hit 500, I will start doing the series I promised I would when that happens, and it's called Criminally Undersubbed, where I'm going to profile YouTubers that are smaller in size than myself at the given moment, and that I think deserve some more attention. And that's going to happen. Other than that, nice. I've slowed down. I was telling people this before the stream started. I've started slowing down my video production a bit because I was starting to burn myself out because I was just like going gangbusters, like one video every 2 days or something.
Oh my God.
So yeah, but I've got 100 and some odd now videos posted, so I think I've got a decent library.
You have 100 videos?
Well, so at least 9 or 10 of so I've got like 109 right now. At least 9 of those are short little things like announcing streams or like little joke videos or something. But yeah, it looks like I have about 100 legitimate videos posted as of right now, which is also kind of a milestone.
Dude, you know what I hate about this camera? It makes my chin look fat. Look at this shit.
Look fat?
Dude, I'm not
You're fat shaming, Scribe. You're fat shaming.
No, that's fine.
You're right.
I believe in fat shaming. People fucking get a good.
Well, here's a tip. Don't use your camera.
No, I don't. I like people to see me.
Oh, okay. You're an exhibitionist. All right.
No, it doesn't bother me.
Okay.
They're asking me to use my cute voice to get you to show your tits.
You want to see my tit stream? If you do you have super chat enabled?
I don't think you can use super chat until you're 1,000 subscribers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I'm halfway there. At some point, I can start allowing people to give me money, I guess, which would be ridiculous. I don't even know what I'd want people to give me money for, but
Yeah. And anyway, for the record,
Soda.
soda.
Cookies.
Good God, you guys are trying to give me diabetes.
All right. I thought you guys had Tourette's there for a moment. I didn't know.
I don't know.
Cake.
So,
Fried fish.
Bob Saget.
oh God. Okay, so to close things out a little bit or start down that road,
Testicles.
do what I usually do at the top of a stream. Hey,
right.
Danny. Hey, Danny.
Yo.
Why don't you tell people about your stream or your channel and your content real quick, just as a sort of overview?
I think I'm subbed to Danny.
Oh, okay.
I think so.
I am basically the basis of my channel is that I am a snarky cartoon dingo that likes to point out whenever I think someone is wrong about basically anything. And sometimes I come across as a bit of an asshole, but that's fine because I spent a whole 5-minute trailer for my channel describing how I'm an asshole.
Okay. Foxy, how would you describe your content and channel?
My content's kind of like a commentary. I like to call people out on their bullshit, and also it's really cute to hear a really cute little voice say a lot of curse words and a variety of curse words apparently that I come up with all the time. So that's what my channel is, just commentary, just calling people out for their stupid shit.
Okay. Potato, I know you only have one video so far and you're still trying to feel your way out of things, but
I will take my pants off right now.
for Potato?
I spend too much money at my therapist.
Wait, you wearing pants?
I'm about to say.
They're unbuttoned, but yeah.
Okay, it's Potato's turn, so hold on a moment, pants
Scrub
guys.
noob.
I like his avatar.
Okay.
Sorry.
Where do you think you'll be taking your channel, Potato?
I'm just it's a personal thing for me. Like I'm really I'm spending too much money at my therapist. I need to find another outlet and be able to talk about things in a way that makes me feel like I'm getting it out of my system. So that seems to be what that first video was about, and I want to find a way to do that in a more structured way, hopefully. But
have you tried Xanax?
Have you tried Xanax? Yeah.
It's wonderful. I recommend Valiums as well.
Ambien.
Were you slurring your
I
words
sleep-
there, or were you just like
Ambien.
was your audio lagging?
Mine might have.
I'm more of a crack kind of guy.
Crack's good. You want to run through a wall? Yeah.
I actually don't have any sort of chemical. I mean, I take medication, but I don't have any otherwise like chemical dependencies kind of thing.
Someone said Ambien.
You have a dependency on monkey. Ambien is a sleep aid.
Yeah, I know what it is, but I took it a few times and I ended up almost sleep cooking.
I sleep clean.
whatever happened to smoking weed?
It's illegal.
Depends on the state you live in.
Smoking weed is for pansies. Be a man, do some real drugs.
Yeah, shoot some heroin, you loser.
Now when you
Gutenberg,
Faggots.
you can't do that when you got random piss tests every month.
Gutenberg, how would you describe your channel, even if you are slowing down a little bit?
Oh, I don't even give a shit. Don't even.
Jesus.
I
I'm,
really
I'm trying to give you a little boost, even though you don't need it because you're like 17 times larger than I am.
No, I don't. I don't care about subs because I don't care. I'm a piece of shit. I'm a piece of shit. Don't even follow me.
Folks, this is what we call reverse psychology. Now that the Nazi told you not to do something, you'll go out and do it.
No, I really don't care.
Hey, if you don't subscribe to me and Potato, y'all are sexist.
Yeah,
exactly. There you go.
Subscribe to them, not me. I don't care.
Yeah, well, just to spite you, I just subscribed to you.
Oh,
Jesus. Break the conditioning.
I'm a fucking Vanny if I could find you.
Jesus. So, and to go back around one more time, Potato, do you have any upcoming videos or projects that you'd like to plug?
You can show weed. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I mean, I've been thinking a lot about a specific topic that I want to try and formulate a video around. That being the difference between, you know, our motivations and our goals, like how they appear to be one thing but can be different, but I don't really know how to frame it yet.
Okay. Foxy, do you have any videos coming up?
I'm working on a project with Dire Wolf right now, and I want to really do one on the fat acceptance movement, but I really need to find a good video for that. I've lost a lot of weight a long time ago, and I'll be able to keep it off, so I have a unique perspective on all that.
Okay. Danny, do you have anything upcoming?
I have a couple of big projects, one related to Christy Winters directly and one relating to the entire Christy Winters crew, but that's as far as I'll go into that.
Okay.
I have a question.
Okay.
Are all these guys newer, smaller channels? I'm sorry. I know Danny the Dingo. I'm familiar with his name.
I'm new.
I don't know the other two.
Yeah, Foxy and Potato are two relatively new YouTubers that, well, they both independently just kind of contacted me to ask me questions about stuff, and I was getting ready to have another stream, and I was just like, "Hey, you want to come on a stream?" Like, yeah. So.
Oh, awesome! And
I found you, Potato.
Scribe randomly showed up on one of my streams.
Yeah, I just, well, I think what it was is that I showed up and I just started calling Brother Bear a noob, and you were like, "We gotta have this guy on." I'm like, okay.
Well, it was also because Bloodwing was like, bring him in, he's cool.
Oh, right.
What's that? I haven't seen him in a while. Is he?
Blood?
He's all right. He's just having some personal issues.
Yeah, last I heard, it's a whole bunch of family stuff that has unfortunately fallen on his shoulders to try to manage, and as a consequence, he hasn't had time to do much in the YouTube stuff right now. So hopefully it gets resolved soon, and Bloodwing will be among us once again. But right now he's kind of having a tough time. But he seems to be in relatively good spirits the couple times that I've contacted him.
Yeah, I felt lucky. I managed to snatch him up for a collab just before he went down.
Yeah, I want to plug something.
Okay,
add me on Twitch. I need friends on Twitch. Fuck YouTube.
What's your Twitch handle?
Gutenberg with 2 G's.
What is Twitch?
I totally would if I used Twitch, but
it's
I
game.
don't.
It's a game streaming site basically where you just like stream yourself playing video games for the most part. You can do other things too, but that's what its primary use is.
And Steam too. Gutenberg with 2 G's. I need fucking friends.
You mean 2 G's at the end, right? Because
2 G. Well,
there's already 2 G's. You mean 2 G's at the end? Yeah, okay.
Go Gutenberg.
Yeah. Let's see. Plug myself briefly because it's my stream. Well, I'm like I said, I'm 20 subscribers away from 500, which will, as far
13.
as my pattern's gone so far, 13. Okay, I'm 13 subs away from 500.
I gained you 7 subs. You're welcome.
Oh, thank you. Once I hit 500, that will trigger, for lack of a better word, a 5th ScribeStream at some point in the near future, which would be the shortest interval between ScribeStreams I've had thus far. And also, after I hit 500 at some point shortly thereafter, I will start figuring out. I want to come up with a good opening sequence for it, but I'm going to do my series called Criminally Undersubbed, where I find YouTubers that I think need more attention than they have and try to promote them a little bit. And let's see, tomorrow I will be reposting a guest video I did for another channel to my channel. I always give those about a week to cook on somebody else's channel so they get whatever revenue they can get out of it. And as far as future projects, I've got a video I found that is a combination of lesbians, technology, and Black Lives Matter. And I haven't watched it yet. I haven't watched it yet. But just the subject matter as promoted sounds interesting, and I will take a look. If not that, there's an extension to a previous Google Talks video I already did on Van Jones that I've already scripted but haven't recorded yet. So we'll see about that.
Interesting.
Hopefully.
So now, real quick question for Gutenberg, because I get this all the time. How did you hear about me? Because I have people telling me all the time, oh, I heard about you from this such a place, and I'm just checking out your channel now. It feels like I'm getting a lot of people coming to my channel or hearing about my channel everywhere but my channel.
I think your name is very easily rememberable.
Oppressive hubbies.
Well, what's going on here? I don't. The name Danny the Dingo. I don't know where I heard it or when I heard it. I just remember the name.
It's lyrical.
Yeah,
It's got some alliteration there. Danny the Dingo.
Yeah. I don't know. It's probably, I know I'm sub to you though.
I don't. The last time I checked, the only two people that I had subscribed to me that had more than like 6,000 subs was Suit Yourself and Bearing.
Oh yeah, but I have my sub thing blocked, so you won't see that I'm sub to you.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
See, this is what I say. Oppressive hubby is oppressive hubby.
What happened?
After I get off this live stream, I have to go do oppressed wife thing and have to go get him something because he's lazy and he's a male.
Bring me a beer.
That's sexist.
Give me a beer, you stupid broad.
Okay. Well, on that note of, passive misogyny.
I just got here. What the fuck?
I said 2 hours, dude. I've
been watching time though. I got 6 more minutes on fucking stream, bro.
Okay. Well, all right. Then I will cede the final 6 minutes to whatever you want to talk about.
I want to know. I want to know more about this potato girl.
Well, it's a girl.
Sorry, potato.
Oh my.
Okay.
I'll say honestly.
Okay.
More
all right.
casual
All right.
misogyny.
All right. Potato. Tell us more about yourself.
Me? Well, I just kind of am I live in a place where this stuff is going on a lot in my real world, I feel, and like
Where at?
I don't want to say
Well, name the state.
California. There you go. But, yeah.
We'll be with you, child.
So I feel like I've been going crazy. I'm the closet, the closet person, closet skeptic. And I'm starting to come out and talk to people about how I really feel. And I've really been inspired by like a lot of like Ranting Monkey. I've been listening to you for a long time, and I've been listening to a lot of Scribe stuff. And, it's really inspired me, to come and out and talk about what I really feel with people when I'm scared. Because I now have the words to explain it. I have the words to back it up. So.
Do you know who Prince of Queens is?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Dindro told me to well, he's going to introduce me, but I'm following it now.
Who's typing very loudly? Stop it.
Sorry about that, guys. What did I miss?
Everything.
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 Damn it. That always happens.
I was talking about Potato, about her coming out as, I'm assuming you were at one time a regressive SJW type?
Well, I always kind of like was a fence sitter. Like, I would placate the people around me, but I wouldn't, be combative with them. And I didn't really know exactly how I felt. I wasn't, I wasn't committing to anything because I didn't feel it was exactly right, but I didn't know anything better, if that makes sense. So
you're just complacent to just what was going on around you?
Pretty much try to ignore it as much as possible until I couldn't anymore, and like now I'm here.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, sorry. I had like 30 notifications. Stop sending me gay porn.
Who?
Don't you tell me how to lick my wife.
Yeah, Gutenberg only likes gay porn if it shows up randomly on a stream.
Dude, every time I hop on a stream, someone sends me gay porn. Well, I know who it is.
Is it Sargon?
Need to fucking stop. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Scribe. I didn't mean to come ruin your stream.
No, you still got 4 minutes. You wanted 6 minutes, the last 6 minutes. Hey, go for it.
I didn't want it. I just didn't want you to end it.
You said you had 6 more minutes. Okay, well, we still have 3 minutes. We got 3 minutes left. So who wants to take the last 3 minutes?
Can you get it for 3 minutes?
Who's this Foxy broad? Who are you?
Me? New to YouTube as well, just like kind of Potato, but I have a few more videos than she does. I'm kind of not in a closet really because where I live, it's
sound like you're in Nebraska.
I'm not from Nebraska. I'm from the South.
Oh. Okay.
But I'm
Oklahoma?
No.
Texas.
Well, then I apologize for my Yankeedom.
yeah, me too.
Y'all are oppressing me with your northernness.
Georgia? What state? Come on, tell me.
I'm not going to give my state. I'm in the military, so I'm not going to give my state because I need to stay anonymous, kind of.
Kind of? North Carolina. Obviously, then. If it's military. That was an easy dead giveaway. Anyway. All right, well, cool. You're in the military.
Yes.
Which branch? Let me guess. Air Force.
No.
No?
No.
National Guard.
No.
Sorry, that was a dick joke.
The Merchant Marines.
Yeah, are you a Green Beret?
No,
Are you a member
Army.
of the Are you a member of the Powerpuff Girls?
Definitely. No, I'm in the Army, and so is Oppressive Hubby.
Oh, cool. You
Actually,
guys,
he's about to go into the gas chamber, so I have to go bring him his glasses after this.
he's about to go in the gas chamber.
Yeah, training.
Yeah, the actual gas chamber, like
Yeah,
the tear gas. Yeah.
Well, you triggered.
So when you
my-
make him a sandwich, do you include a pile of lead?
He's not Jewish, is he?
No, that's terrible. No, he's not Judas.
Well, you said gas chamber. I mean,
It's called a gas
2 and 2.
chamber.
Yeah, 2 and 2, 2 and 2.
But you go in without your pro mask on, and you get they have tear gas in there. I don't know. It's painful and it sucks.
Yeah,
And he has to have his glasses.
I've seen a Discovery thing about it.
I saw an episode of Ren and Stimpy where they did that. That's as much as I know.
For Ren and Stimpy.
Oh man, when they went into the army, it was amazing. It was one of the best episodes ever.
I miss Ren and Stimpy.
Yeah.
Is that on?
That was like
anymore?
awesome.
Yeah, you can still. I don't know if they make new episodes, but you can probably
Well, I know
still
they
find
don't.
the old ones. Yeah.
Yeah, I was wondering if like Cartoon Network or anything like that still ran.
No, I don't think so. Okay. Well, anybody have any final words? Any final words as we're about to wrap it up?
Thank you for inviting me, Scribe. I appreciate it.
Oh, you were very welcome.
Nice meeting all of you.
Yeah,
I
nice
think my
meeting
youth
everyone.
is showing a bit because I've never heard of that show.
You've never heard of Ren and Stimpy?
That's
Was that-
blasphemy.
Early 90s, that's when.
Go back to Russia.
Yeah, no, see, the problem is I was born in 1995.
Oh my God.
That is a problem.
I remember 95.
Yeah, I do too.
I'm fucking old.
I don't.
Don't lie. Dare you.
No,
Thank you,
that's a distant
Scribe.
memory.
You're welcome, Foxy. All right, so everybody,
Monkey was drunk in 1995.
amongst other things. All right, so everyone's here is either old or young, and I appreciate everybody coming out to chat and bullshit with me for a couple hours. And given the way things are going, I will be doing another one of these in the relatively near future, and hopefully I'll have some new people on, or maybe some old farts like Gutenberg again.
Wait, what?
Nothing at all.
Did you say old? I mean, fuck you, Scribe.
Yeah, I know.
I still want Gutenberg to show his tits.
You'll still want to come on my stream next time too.
Okay.
All right.
Well, next time send a nigger a message. Jesus Christ. I hop
Yeah.
on and 3 people are fucking streaming, yet no invites for Gutenberg.
Okay, I tell you what. You for my 500, I will have the old guard on, or I'll try to. I'll have you and Irate Bear. He's not a clone at all. He's not a clone at all.
Sexy bear.
I'll get Misa and Tailed, and you guys can try to do your Braveheart thing and all that good
Yeah.
stuff.
I still call him this day when I'm talking to him. I get really mad and I'm drunk. I call him Bearing and I don't realize I'm doing it.
Anyway, thanks guys again. Thanks everyone for coming out to watch, and I will talk to you soon. Take care.
Bye, guys.